He got mad because Valletta intervenes while he's talking. "You need to become the Empress for me because if you don't, you're useless," he said. "But," she said, "that kid, I felt like I've seen him somewhere." "Valletta Delight, did you just answer me?" he asked. He wants Valletta to be the Empress, and he'll do everything to fulfill his wish. She has nothing to do about it but to obey what is being told. The Valletta in the novel didn't have this ability, so she lived her life with the disinterest of her father. She has previous memories and was reincarnated as a supporting villain in this novel. Valletta was destined to die on the day she became an adult. Valletta faced a terrible ending in the hands of her beloved one, the villain. However, unlike Valletta, who didn't possess any abilities, she was reincarnated to this world, where alchemists with the qualities of a higher-class alchemist are precious. So, unlike in the novel, her father is now obsessed with her. If he finds out that she is an elementalist, she wondered what will happen. She wondered if he didn't have any bracelet of repatriation he could have run away. She have sympathy for the little boy. She was given a necklace where it is engraved in his heart as a seal, which makes him obey what is being told. But there is no way she's going to use it for a little boy. Besides, she knows who that boy will be in the future, who could have guts to use it. Come to think of it, Count Delight brought the future head of the magic tower in as a slave. She was certain the description of the villain. Long hair, red eyes. He was extremely beautiful. He had pale skin and red eyes that looked like he had beautiful rubies embedded in them. Valletta fell in love with the beautiful man with silver white hair lightened up by the shining sun immediately. She doubted if it was really him. She needs to confirm it first. "By the way, do you have a name?" she asked. "I'm Reinhardt, master," he answered. A figure great magician and head of the magic tower who easily beat the protagonist. He gave meaningless tastes and played with the protagonist, the villain among who gets rid of things after losing interest. Day after, she visits the little boy where he is being medicated, but she doesn't like the medication process. She asks the servant to call a doctor, but the servant refused, for the reason that the patient is a slave. But she showed who the master is. Then the servant obeyed in an instant. She had a thought, having a tough life just for being a slave. An unawakened magician is weak. She remembered in the novel that Valletta is so in love with this man. She thought this man was also having feelings for her. In the end, she was being used for a revenge, but this man was the cause of her death. In the novel, Valletta treated Reinhardt as a lover and not as a slave. Reinhardt used her as a stepping stone until he awakened and killed her and her father. "Now that I'm thinking about it, I can just make him a potion and not call a doctor anymore," she said. She might get confined if her father finds out that she used her abilities. She was bothered thinking just watching him die. She's thinking kicking him out of the house once he recovers. He was covered with wounds all over his body, but with her medicine he won't die. Her father knows what her doing and got mad. She was woken up from her sleep. She got slapped from him. First thing, he always reminding her not to use his alchemy that easily without his permission. The power, the clothes you wear, the food you eat, and even your entire being belongs to me, he said. It was a birthday present given to me personally from Father, so I couldn't just leave it to die, she answered. Even so, it's still a sin to use your powers without my permission, he insisted. Yes, I'm sorry, she said. And because of that, she will be confined in her room for a day and no meals to reflect her action. James became her slave. She heard that while serving her, he was being ignored and that the other servants were mistreating him. It's been 5 years since he became her slave. During that time, she did her best to dismiss him, but it was completely useless. A day that she will have a tea with the crown prince. The engagement ceremony with him is nearing. Thinking of it, it annoys her even more. She's now ready to depart, walking down the aisle from her room. Reinhardt was there. His expression at first was like and showing that expression of him. He always received scolded from the servants around him, but he didn't talk back. All he do is smiling with that hateful eyes of him. Valletta's observation as she can see the slowly blooming and gradually expanding black rage on that body, the attendant suggesting to let her servant sit in the front, but she insisted to let him sit with her inside the carriage. She was hoping he wouldn't get hit by that attendant. She sighed. Every time he pissed off, he always seek her warmth. And here she is. She spoiled him that much he got annoyed, but she feel it nice since it's quite. They arrived at the prince palace. But the time they arrived he nailed, to give her a help in a servant ways. She was shocked of what he's doing. She got goosebumps of what will happen to her if he will awaken later. Will he break her ankle? Instead, she called the attendant to bring the log over for her to step on. She commanded to stay back. It seems like master really hates me, he said. She thought. She hurts his feeling because she rejected his offer. He asked if what is she doing in the imperial palace. The crown prince wanted to have a tea together before the official announcement of the engagement. She answered. Engagement? He asked. I don't know, either at a common situation created by the adults. I will never come to understand it, even in the future, she said. To have tea before the engagement. The crown prince is quite unusual. She might not even live to become an adult. Once she entered the room, she introduced herself to the crown prince. The prince were standing there, welcomed her with a smile in his face. He hoped not to be shy in front of him. Sooner or later, she will become the part of the family. That will be after our coming of the age of ceremony, she said. He was glad he was given his request to be his guest. It's because as I don't come, father will nag me about it, she said. Count Delight surprisingly seems to have a scary side, he said. He offered a sit. She doesn't feel comfortable with him around. I left everyone because I like the lady, so when we get married, I hope we can get along like friends, he offered, while she agrees. Of course, I have a feeling for the opposite gender as well. So, my lady, you can speak comfortably with me. You can even call me milord, he said. I'll slowly get used to it, she answered. He's very active, even though this is a loveless marriage. Is it because of the crown prince position? They agrees that the engagement ceremony will be held on the last day of the year. He asked if she wants something, perhaps a present from him, which she answered. She's not fond of having a presents from others, other than from her father. Although this is a political marriage, he's so sweet. He definitely different from Reinhardt, who was looking at her like a lion from hell. Count Delight has made such a great impression. If there's anything she'd like, it's probably to remove the bracelet on her wrist. The bracelet that her father put on her is to keep observing her. Whenever she look at it, she can't breathe and just feel like disappearing. In a sudden, milord banged the table to be back her to her senses. I apologize. It looks like you were going far away suddenly. He offered to walk her around to entertain her in a while. He offers his hand. But the look of the face of the villain, Reinhardt, is gloomy. Does he have a feelings for her? Why did he show that impression? Back to her palace. She was looking for something. He asked, of what is she looking for? Ah, the key to my workroom, she answered. She didn't know where did her father put the key. When she was young, after using alchemy on Reinhardt, her father completely moved her workroom to the basement and locked it with a key. Without his permission, she could never use it. He asked if who she doing this for this time. A rabbit passing by, a bird that fell while flying in the sky, he asked. Or did you find an ant with a broken leg this time? He added. She find it annoying. She know the future, have no affection to give to the people in his family. They're about to die anyway, she'll only hurt herself if she get attached to them. So she never call anyone, including Reinhardt, by their names, but it's possible for unnamed animals, because they're just living things passing by. I don't know why affection is always directed towards them. I can't understand, he said. You don't have to understand, she said. It won't be around the workroom, he said. Follow me, he added. He leads the way to get the key. She wondered of what's wrong with him all of a sudden this time. She wondered why he leads her to the workroom without the key with him. What is he going to do? He uses magic to open it by just one snap of his fingertips. The door was open. He's not even awakened yet. Yet magic is that easy for him, huh? She wondered. Or is he not hiding himself at all in front of her? First, she need to do what she needs to do as quickly as possible for not to get caught by her father. Right at that time, she's making a potion, and in an instant, ta-da! She's done. Watching her from behind without saying a word. The scene cut. They were in the garden. So at first you refused my help, but because of a cat that changes your mind, he said. Looks fine now. In her mind, without her knowledge, her father was there watching her the whole time. What would have come to her mind? She has the bracelet that was given to her from her father to monitor her all the time. She was not of her mind. With that look of his face, he was extremely angry. Hayes got caught again. You came, father, she said. He completely mad. It must have been that servant spoke to his father. Even if she don't ask, she knows it. It's only because she was paying attention to this thing like this happen. She can't help it. Being punished again. She got a bruise on her face. She always gets that every time she did a thing against his will. He ordered the servants to get her to her room and lock her up, and not give anything except water for a week. What an ungrateful father! It's not surprising because it's just as she thought it would. She give her look to him that she will be fine. Why is he looking at me at those eyes? She wondered, 'cause she can't always understand. Even if he can't see it, it's like he have seen it. It's her first time seeing him showing his emotions in such a way. A week later, a week that she finds it a bit difficult. She thought she used to it. A lot since when she was a kid. Her father entered and giving her a last chance to not act on her way once more, or she will be no longer treated like a child. She agreed. She was coughing and trembling in a hunger. It's finally over, she said. When she gets out from the confinement room, she asked a bowl of soup to her room. First thing she thinks from getting out of the confinement room was Reinhardt. She wondered of what happened to him without her around. She sat on her bed. She can see her reflection from the mirror. She is now getting thinner. She doesn't like it. She wondered where'd he be. Is he left the mansion? Or is he dead? Either way is fine. If only he lived well on his own, it would be nice. The door closed from opening it. Hello, master, he said. She has no words to say. Why is he still here? Valletta's in mind. How is your body? He asked. I'm fine, he answered. That's great. You two know that, master? People who dare to trade the light tongue that day? The two servants who touched you are dead? He said. She had no word to say. Feels like she was out from there for a second. It was an unfortunate accident. Fell from the window, he said. But she knows, he the only one who knows if that was really an accident or not. Is killing one or two people enough for now? But I've never touched servant before. Master, may I come in? He asked. Probably not usual. Also what happened? Those words are Reinhardt's signal. He entered the room with bruised all over his body. She was shocked. Watching him in that situation, he embraced her seeking for a comport. That's how she spoiled him, but at the same time she's scared of him. It's stupid, but she can't throw him away. In hindsight, it's the same pitiful situation. Just like Reinhardt doesn't complain about her, neither do she comport him. The silence that flows between them is the only consolation they can give each other. 6 years later, your bracelet is tilted, master, he said. No matter how many times I teach you, you don't remember it, he said. While preparing for her makeup, isn't it time for you to leave the state? She asked. You're saying upsetting things again, he said, while adjusting her necklace. He had finished tying her hair. She doesn't like that he takes care of her. Thinking of it, she had a goosebump from that day onwards. For 6 years, she listened to everything her father being asked. And now her 18th birthday is approaching. He asked of why is she going to the market. She answered, she will be looking for a medical herbs. He asking if he can accompany her to the market. But she refused. He wondered if what's not to her liking that it makes her upset. He had a thought if he's going to bend her slender neck, she will be dyed instantly. While stroking her hair, she had a goosebumps once again. He's making an excuse his hat, there was a dust stuck on her neck. He didn't insisted to go with her, he decided to walk away and bid a safe trip to his master. If that person dies, I will never be able to see her expressions and hear her voice. Reinhardt in mind. She's walking in the whole way she kept thinking of what are those feelings. She was certain felt a murderous aura a while ago. She doesn't feel good about it if like that will continue. Like last night incident, she should dismiss him even if it's by force. Now she regretted it. Yesterday night while she was sleeping, she heard something. She wondered if where was that sound coming from? Was it from the next room? My apologies for meeting you like this, the guy said. I should have come and greet you sooner, added. It's fine, it's not like you can meet me just because you want to. Since I can't send signal from here, Guy answered. Isn't that Reinhardt voice? She murmured. You are bound by a human's magic. It's not difficult to do, Guy said. If you like this video and wants me to continue, please comment the word Valletta